Case.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the things you give in our life, Lord. I pray that you give me, God, give us direction and a decision today for the nation, Lord, and just be with us as we leave this afternoon too. We ask in Jesus Christ, amen.
Roll call, Legislative Clerk April Lindsey.
Sandra Golden.
Present.
James Factor.
Leggett.
Robert Huff.
Present.
William Love.
Leggett.
Lucian Tiger.
Present.
There you got 5 present and 0 absent.
5 present, 0 absent, constitutes a quorum. All business conducted to be official. Next item on the agenda be the approval of minutes from April 16th, 2026.
Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes with any necessary changes.
Representative Lowe has made a motion to approve the minutes with any necessary changes, second by Representative Huff. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
William Love.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
James Factor.
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
There you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Next item on the agenda be the order of business. This time I'd like to relinquish the chair to Vice Chair Lowe.
Madam Chairman, order of business TR 26-029. A tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation confirming the nomination of William R. Norman to serve on the Public Gaming Commission, sponsored Lucian Tiger III.
Make a motion for due pass.
Representative Tiger makes a motion for due pass. Second by Robert Huff. Discussion. Any discussion?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Norman?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Norman. See if we can hear you now.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the committee and others that are present here. My name is William Norman, citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation. I'm an attorney. I am the managing partner of the Oklahoma office of Hobbs, Straustein, and Walker. Most of my practice, if you've had an opportunity to look at my cover letter or resume, has been in the area of gaming, and in particular in Oklahoma. Both with operational aspects and regulatory aspects. I've been heavily involved in the Class 2 environment and the Class 3 environment here and in other jurisdictions around the country. I have a number of gaming commission clients and also operational clients. So again, I have seen and had the opportunity to grow and understand from a legal standpoint for both sides of the coin there. I have a passion to serve. I've done that in my personal life and my professional life, and I saw that there might be an opportunity for my background and experience to be used for the nation, and I wanted to inquire about that opportunity and offer my services to that extent if possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. I also want to reach out and let you know I do appreciate you offering to serve on this Public Gaming Commission Board. I think you would be a valuable asset to this commission. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, is there any other discussion? Representative Huff.
Thank you, Chairman. I've known Mr. Norman for a while, not personally, but just through different things of the gaming. And, you know, a question I would ask him, what he brings to the table. But if you look at his resume and what he's done in the gaming for Oklahoma, he's done a very good job representing himself, and his knowledge there is very extensive. So I wholly support Mr. Norman. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you. Any other discussion? Committee, council representative in attendance. Representative Golden.
Mr. Norman, at one time, this Hobbs, Straustein, and Walker worked for Muskogee Creek Nation with Clerk Kickingbird.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, I guess it was from about 2002 to around 2008. We had a few relationships with the nation. Primarily, we started out working with the National Council. Clerk Kickingbird at the time was National Council attorney. I provided some assistance during that time. We also came to represent the nation on the project in its early stages for River Spirit, both the development, management, and then the financing. And we did that again, sort of under the direction of the administration at the time, but on behalf of the nation as a whole. Although not directly representing the tribe on this issue, we did have the opportunity to present to the National Council information about the Class 3 Gaming Compact as it was going through its machinations at the state capitol, and the tribes were negotiating it, and then it came to fruition as an offer by the state for the tribes to consider. So we've worked in those few capacities. Hobstrauss currently also represents OneFire Holdings. There are a few attorneys that represent different aspects of OneFire's legal needs. We mostly work on their leases and some of their transactional work, but we do have a piece of litigation that we're working on their behalf.
All right, any other questions, discussion? Representatives online? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Lucian Tiger,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
James Factor,
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
There you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. TR 26-029 passes. Mr. Norman, pre-agenda will be May 16th at 9 a.m., sir. We'd like to see you in person for an interview with the full council. And then we will conduct our vote at 10 a.m. that following meeting.
Thank you, Mado.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to relinquish the chair back to Chairman Lucian Tiger III.
Thank you, Representative Lowe. Next item on the agenda, NCA 26-068. A law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing expenditure of funds for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation's Department of Public Safety Criminal Investigations Division for the U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women, FY 2025, local law enforcement grants for enforcement of cyber crimes program. Sponsors Representative Lowe.
Chairman, let's make a motion for due pass.
Representative Lowe made a motion for a due pass.
Second.
Second by Representative Huff. Discussion. Representative Lowe.
Yes, Mr. Howard.
Chief Thompson.
All right, Chief Thompson, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, that'll be good right there.
So our intended use, I'm Tony Thompson, I'm the Chief of the Investigations Division. And our intended use for these funds is to just expand on what we're already doing with digital forensics and then become a better partner in some of the statewide relationships we already have. One of the big pieces that this will allow us to do is to develop a couple of mobile units for data extraction, which basically means we get a victim, suspect, whoever it may be, that says, hey, you can take the information that's already on my device. We can go to that scene and get that information almost immediately. As far as what it does for investigations, it takes a victim who's got no hope and it gives them hope. We can find out where perpetrators may be. We can find those patterns of behavior and various other things. One of the other things that we'll do with that is to take Lieutenant Claiborne, who's already developing expertise in this, and turn him into a full-on subject matter expert. He's about halfway through the training it takes to be considered an expert in this, and the training that's available through this grant would finalize that in an ever-evolving field.
Danny, thank you, sir.
Questions from committee? Question from council attendance? Question from council online? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
James Factor,
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
There you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Next item on the agenda is NCA 26-071. A law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNTA Title 30, Chapter 4, entitled Compensation for National Council, and authorizing a supplemental appropriation to the National Council FY 26 budget. Sponsors Representative Golden, co-sponsors Representative Crawford, Representative Factor, Representative Lowe, Representative Marshall, Representative Phillips, Representative Proctor, and Representative Tiger.
Chairman, I make a motion for a due pass.
Representative Golden made a motion for a due pass. Second by Representative Huff. Discussion, Representative Golden.
Yes, I believe we have, Rachel on now to discuss, the, consultant that did our study. And if she could provide the study that she did and the results. Rachel?
Thank you, and thank you, members. I have here also with me Haley Blizzard, who helped me with this study. I'd like to just give a kind of a brief outline of our approach and how we came up with the numbers that we recommended. So we took all of the market data, doing the National Council rolls, looking at several similar tribal compensation comparisons, as well as some private board compensation. We then came up with a recommended salary range based on a full-time basis. However, since the Muskogee Creek Nation's National Council reflects a part-time workload, we asked the representatives to provide average annual hours worked, and we averaged those hours together to come up with about 1,500 hours annually. So 73% of a full-time equivalent. So we took the recommended salary ranges and took 73% of them to come up with a recommendation for the Muskogee Creek National Council's speaker and council member role pay.
Go.
So, that was submitted to the Internal Affairs, and Internal Affairs the mid-range, and that's how we came up with the salary increase from 47 for the from 47 to 80. Excuse me, to 80,000 for the council members, and discussing that there would be the 700 for each council member for mileage. We took that out. And I think what else was there that we did? For every month, they would not get the mileage or in state. And mileage shall not be reimbursed, with the exception for out-of-state travel if a fleet car is not used. So that saved some of the monies, or a lot of the monies actually. The speaker salary would change, annual salary for 99,000 a year. And I guess we have, some people have called and said or submitted information saying we should not, some of the council members have said that they should not receive a salary increase. And there's not been an increase in the salary since 2013. And of all people that have said we should not get a salary increase, I've been one of those people that said we should not. At the same time, this is not just about myself. Being on the council before in 2000 and now 2000 and what year is it? 26. And a lot of things has changed. And the last time, looking at the election, one of those people, I'm a single mom, and I think women should have equal opportunity. And on the salary that we get right now, a single mom cannot raise a child without someone helping her. And so, like I said, this is just not about me. And we need to look at elected officials, because elected officials are not employees. So there's not a lot of benefits that are available to elected officials as there are employees. And so I just think that when we look at what employees get, even people that are on government income, they get an increase every year. And elected officials don't. And so it's just about time that we make some changes and make this an equal playing field, because we have to value the people that we are electing to represent the people. And I think it's about time. So, like I said, it's not just about me. It's about everybody. It's about the people. And we need to value the people that we elect to represent our citizens. So.
Invocation Golden.
Chairman, thank you, Chairman. I just want to say, Red W, thank you so much, Rachel, for all your expertise. I know you've all helped many tribes in this very situation, and I just want to thank you all for being so diligent and working with us. And I know we were kind of slow on getting paperwork back to you, but it happened and we're here today. So thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Comments from committee? Council in attendance? Council online? Reverend Whitebine?
Thank you, Chairman. I haven't had time to look at this study myself, because it just came out on Tuesday. But when doing the study, were there comparisons to other tribes, economic development, revenues, things like that, as compared to ours?
We used 6 tribal comparison specifics, and then I believe there was 3 or 4 private board comparisons. But we did look at some of the economic, and we have done some work for the economic that we use internally to benchmark.
I have another question or comment. This is not a full-time job, so it is, like you said, on a part-time type basis. So the other thing I would say is that I don't know if any of you have gone to your communities to ask how they feel about us giving ourselves a raise. I know a couple of communities in the MNGE district are not in favor of it. And I haven't heard from the other 4, but it just seems apparent. I mean, it's not maybe actual bias, but it seems like apparent bias if we go in and give ourselves a raise. And I'm just not comfortable supporting this without citizen input. And I feel like we should have at least 3 or 4 months of public comment on this to see how citizens feel. Thank you.
There you go, Jim White. Anybody else? Council in attendance? Council online? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
James Patrick,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
William Love.
Yes.
Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
In favor, 0 against, that motion passed. Next item on the agenda is NCA 26.
Online.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Funding source for NCA 26-071, please.
Well, considering this has to do with salaries and to make the ease of keeping that together with where it's already located, I would say it would have to be gaming.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Next item on the agenda is NCA 26-074, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Funding, LATCF, received from the United States Department of Treasury for the Department of Commerce to begin the initial phase in purchasing and acquisition of a bank. Sponsored Representative Lowe.
Chairman, make a motion for due pass.
Representative Lowe made a motion for a due pass. Second by Representative Factor. Discussion. Representative Lowe.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask Commerce Secretary Timothy Harjo to present to the committee, please.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Honorable members of the committee for F&J, thank you for your time, allowing the Congress to be here today to talk about the full legislation. If you will, I'm just going to read an excerpt from the memo and some of the materials that were provided to the committee. Department of Commerce is pursuing the acquisition of a bank on behalf of the nation. The transaction represents a significant opportunity to advance the nation's economic sovereignty, expand financial services to the nation, its tribal members, tribally owned businesses, and tribal member businesses as well, all designed to generate long-term sustainable revenues for all those parties. Engaging the right advisory team ultimately protects the tribe's investment, it accelerates acquisition process, and lays the groundwork for stable, successful tribally owned bank enterprise. The Commerce Department is recommending approval for the legislation that would engage a law firm and a consultant named Burrell. And the budget will attach $100,000 to use those funds for the phase one of the bill. So phase one basically includes developing an entire plan with multiple phases, developing the team, developing the assessments and operations plans for identifying a target bank for this purchase. And then the final acquisition phase, I'll skip to that, would be acquiring the bank and then operations and what that would look like. So having these types of professionals working with us is key to making it a really compliant acquisition, but also a successful one. There's a lot of federal and state regulatory hurdles, BIC, Federal Reserve, Department of the Treasury, and so having expert legal counsel and done these kinds of things before is an absolute requirement. I would entertain any questions. How much time does saving versus starting our own bank? What's the time difference on starting a bank? Generally, if you were to start your own bank up from scratch, we're talking 2-3 years, maybe a little longer, depending on where you're involved. You know what they're doing, not really learning from on the go. You're looking at 2 to 3 years. An acquisition, just negotiation and then take over. An acquisition could be anywhere from 6 months. Well, I shouldn't say 6 months, but starting 6 months to 18 months makes more sense. It's still a timely process either way. It's much more problematic and lots more hurdles when you at the start. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Paxton. Question for Secretary Harjo. Representative Marshall.
What, it says that you're going to pursue an acquisition, right?
Right. Well, when we first started this potential, when we started this project,
I'm going to ask you not to mention a specific name, please.
Oh, okay.
yes, sir. When we first started doing this project, we talked about phases, identifying, recruiting, looking for a bank to acquire. So that's what we're talking about here. During this process, we did find one, but I can't disclose that. It's in current negotiations. So that's in line with what the chairman here just recommended.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Representative Dolan.
Do we have an NDA?
We do not at this moment. We're under a gentleman's agreement. I'll talk publicly about it. But after this initial action may be taken by the committee and approved by council, then we can go into that first phase of having serious conversations and getting NDA and that kind of thing.
Thank you, Representative Dolan. Questions from the committee, Secretary Harjo. Questions, council attendance. Council online, questions for Secretary Harjo. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Sandra Golden,
Yes.
James Factor,
Yes.
Robert Huff.
Yes.
Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Next item on the agenda is referred legislation, NCA 26-064. Ms. Kelly.
Yes, that will be general taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Gillian. NCA 26-072.
That will be, interest on permanent fund.
Thank you, Ms. Gillian. Entertain a motion to approve the funding source for NCA 26064 general taxes, NCA 26-072 is interest on permanent fund. Representative Factor made a motion, second by Representative Golden. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Dan Factor,
Yes.
Robert Huff,
Yes.
William Lowe,
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
There you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Next item on the agenda is other business. We'll have discussion with MNGE. Next under discussion, OneFire Holding Company, LLC.
Yeah, the other day, the chairman called and all they had to present a report with an update on projects. That was like 2 weeks ago. So I conferred with the chairman about having not come this time, but on their meeting. But they, the financials weren't ready yet, so already. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Next item on the agenda is OneFire Holding Company, LLC.
Chairman,
I'm sorry. So good afternoon. How are you? Hi.
I'd like to call on Brian from REDW real quick to present a part five.
Thank you. So. One more down. Floor is yours.
My name is Brian Waddell, Senior Manager with REDW. We performed the audit on the September 30th, 2025 financials for OneFire Holdings. In front of you is two sets of documents. The first one is the bound one. That's actually the financials themselves. The second packet is just our communication to the board that we actually had with the OneFire Holdings board a couple weeks back, so we can talk through the details of that. I'll keep this conversation brief. I know you're just getting the numbers. As you review that, if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out. Happy to have that conversation. The importance for audit from where I said is the clarity. Want to make sure you understand the numbers, make sure you understand why the numbers are presented are. But that's the important part of the function of the. So I'll just go over a few things high level. Apologize, I'm switching glasses. Getting old, glasses are necessity for everything. So, right. We issue an audit opinion. So what we do is we look at the numbers that the finance team or the accounting team has provided to us. It is the management's numbers. We just look it over and do an opinion on those numbers. Our opinion is there is an unmodified opinion or as high a level of assurance as possible that can be given. So there's no issues or concerns with the numbers that were provided. There were no changes to the numbers. So everything that they have presented in previous board meetings, those numbers didn't change from what we had, which we ultimately landed on. There are instances where some adjustments are needed, but typically when numbers are this clean, it's pretty easy to work through. So just a couple of things we are required to communicate to you as part of industry standard. The audit was performed in accordance with generally accepted accounting practices. Okay. We completed the audit using generally accepted auditing standards. There were no corrected misstatements, there were no uncorrected misstatements. Same thing, just talked about if there's an adjustment that's not unusual, but in this case, we didn't have any that we actually needed or required. There's no disagreements with management. Jason and Debbie and the JRMR team did a great job of working with us, collaborating with us, have lots of questions. Jason and Debbie do a fantastic job asking questions throughout the year, so we're kind of preparing for the audit so that we can kind of get those questions addressed in advance, which is great. No significant difficulties or issues that we noted. There was one change to our scoping because Sweet Shots did come online middle of the fiscal year because it's a 9/30 fiscal year end. That changed over what we were originally planning just because Sweet Shots was actually operational. So that added over what we had done over the previous year. Not a big deal. It's just changing in process and focus. We just have to shift that around just a little bit. We were independent throughout the engagement. That's just the standard requirement that we're actually supposed to be independent throughout our audit process, which we were. Overall, the audit was a clean opinion. There was no issues or problems that we need to bring to your attention as the governing board. It is important that we have that opportunity to do so. We're indicating that there were no issues or concerns and no misstatements that we have any concerns with. Couple of numbers I just want to kind of highlight. Again, there's a lot of information there. I'll give you three things just to kind of think through as we're looking through the report. On the Mound report, our opinion letter or our auditor's letter just kind of says who we are, what we're doing, and this is the scope in which we're doing in the context of why we're doing it. Note number one, which is behind the financial results. Obviously, the numbers themselves are critical. Note number one, behind the financials, and I do want to get page, so apologize. If you go to page 6, note number one starts the details of the financials themselves. Obviously, the numbers are key, but that note number one just kind of defines the entity we're talking about. So it's not the tribe overall. It's strictly OneFire. It specifically talks about the accounting, the standards that they use, the kind of the rules and the approach that they have as they approach those accounting standards. It's more just kind of setting ground rules for understanding where the numbers are coming from and why. That's really all what number one is. The rest of the notes in those financials just provide kind of details to what the numbers are on the face of the financials themselves. And then in the supplement or in the back actually shows a breakdown of entity by entity throughout the financial report. You actually have a breakdown by entity underneath OneFire Holdings. A couple of high-level things I did want to bring up. Operational revenues increased a little over $2.5 million over the previous fiscal year. Same window of time, same information, same context. Operating expenses also increased a little over $3.3 million. Both of those are primarily driven by OneFire being introduced and actually coming operational in early calendar year 25. Operating loss last year was fairly nominal. It was almost zero. It was just short of $100,000. This year was just over $700,000. That's not unusual when you actually start a new operation at the scale that the Sweet Shots entity is actually up and running. So that's not surprising for our fiscal year. And that was only a 6-month operational window. Okay. Non-operating revenues went up $4.5 million. That's primarily due to the ARPA funds that were provided by the tribe for them to actually do the expansion or the renovation and reintroduction of the Sweet Shots. Our revenue was a little over $7 million this year versus the 1.8 the previous year. And then ending net position went up $7 million. That's really just kind of where you guys you're either using too much money or losing money as part of the operational structure. So the fact that it increases gives you some context around making progress of gaining or retaining your assets as you actually earn. And most of that was driven because of the ARPA and the transfers. A couple other numbers I'll walk through real quick, and I'll stop talking because I know everybody loves numbers the way I do. So the sales went up $2.6 million. There were no sales the previous year because Sweet Shots, that the only primary function that OneFire had prior was property management. So the sales number is primarily directed at the Sweet Shots entity. And then the property management, the property rent revenue actually came down about $400,000 of the previous year. Again, primarily due to the taking over the Sweet Shots entity. Salaries increased a little over $1.4 million, primarily because of the Sweet Shots. You're going to hear me say that a few more times before we're done. I apologize. And the Sweet Shots operating revenue, which you'll actually see the detail on the back, is a little over $400,000 loss. Again, that's not unusual. There's a lot of front-end loading for initial starting of an entity and actually getting things up and running. And with the operations starting again, there's obviously some delays in those. The few other things I did want to highlight. There was a increase in non-capital financing activities. That's primarily related to the ARPA fund, which is a little over $7 million, and the tribe transfer in was just at $1 million. There was an increase in investment in capital assets or fixed assets, was a little over $7.8 million this year versus 1.7. So it's just short of a $6 million increase in additions in the current year. Again, primarily due to Sweet Shots, not exclusively. Ending cash actually went up $2.8 million over the previous year. And that was partially due to the transfers, but also partially due to the ARPA funds transfers in. And that's the extent of my hit list. So is there any questions? I know you guys just barely got a chance to look at it. It's tons of fun really reading. I know everybody loves reading that, especially at night when you're trying to go to bed. Any questions I can answer for anybody?
Question from the committee?
Secretary Harder, would you like to say anything?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Will. So just to remind the committee that I serve as the chairman of the board for OneFire LLC. So I've been on the board for about maybe 4 months now. And it is correct that Sweet Shot started September. We took it on around September last year and started operating ourselves 4 weeks. And since that time, obviously, it's been a startup and there's been growth pains, and yes, there's some losses. But we have a plan. Our CEO maybe say a few words on it, but it's a startup. And a lot of folks, when in this business, you don't expect a startup to start making sizable profits, significant profits until 3 to 5 years. And so that's not an excuse, but that's just what it is. And I think we're on the right track. We're moving forward.
Thank you, Secretary Argo. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. I know the audit is a very time-consuming and difficult process, and appreciate your expertise. I also want to acknowledge Debbie Simpson. She's done a great job with compliance, working hand in hand with our accounting team, and she's a great steward of the district's money and really is dedicated to paperwork and documentation. So it's not easy to have 3 clean audits and grow. So good effort on Debbie's part. As far as OneFire in general, a lot of these updates are kind of Sweet Shots and OneFire blended, but I'm happy to announce that the Jinx Chamber of Commerce awarded Sweet Shots with the new business award in their gala that happened in April of this past year. I have an award I'd like to bring it to you the next time we visit, but that was a big award. And so this coming year in 2026, we're going to go for the overall business, not just the new business. Happy to present that honor to council. We had our 1-year anniversary, April 17th. That's followed by a very successful car show that drew thousands of people to Riverwalk, and those people were we had about 450 registrations for the car show, thousands of people, and it converted really well for our tenants. So it really propped up everybody's business on site. They're very appreciative of OneFire's commitment to putting on events and driving that attendance. So another successful event that we co-sponsored with River Spirit was a golf scramble, the 1st of May, very successful. We had over 200 people running a 4-man scramble team. Feedback from that event was very successful. I was able to partner with River Spirit and have some of their volunteers on site. Chad and Emmanuel did a great job. I was very proud of our team. We have had some challenges in the past, ups and downs in management, but the team excelled on every level. So I'm looking forward to getting feedback from all the guests on a survey that's going out. Was happy of the effort there. Since our last update, OneFire has been running the day-to-day operations since February of this year. And what I mean by that is basically signing all the checks, all the payroll, all the accounting, everything that's gone on the site has been a OneFire effort. So our team has really stepped up. We're in a lot of hats. Teresa Street even went in as our GM, or interim GM from February until the middle of April, where we hired Dan Greenberg, who is our new general manager on Sweet Shots. So very excited about Dan. He's a great guy. He comes from a lot of casino background, a lot of events, restaurant management. He started as a chef, and he has really taken the site and leading through a lot of positive changes for Sweet Shots. But over that time, since February, we've migrated 100 employees to a new payroll system. We've implemented a new inventory system for food and beverage that have reduced food costs by 10%, alcohol by 8%. We built out an event and sales department with 2 key hires that continue to drive events to nearly $600,000 in sales since the beginning. We've saved over $150,000 in management fees that would have been paid to a third-party management company. We are in the process of revamping a new menu, and that will be rolling out on June 1st. Some highlights on financials. Since opening in April of last year, sales have been over $5 million. Event sales to date are nearly $600,000. Food and bev, approximately $2 million. Golf bay rental, $2.5 million. We paid over $400,000 in taxes to MCN. We've served over 175,000 people, and we've hit nearly 7 million golf balls. So quite a feat in a short amount of time. And I love that 7 million golf balls. It gives you a little scale of how busy we are in chasing those golf balls around the field and the market. But yes, Riverwalk in general is doing really well. We're over 90% occupied now across the retail and the office sector. We're looking at a potential tenant to take some space behind the district court, very large space there, and that would prop us up to almost 95%. The Attorney General's office it's under renovation and looks to be open sometime in the summer. Captain John's is moving forward to the renovation. They've been doing a detailed site plan, so we're happy to have them moving forward and look to start construction very soon. We are doing lease renewals for Burnco and Los Cabos, extending them well into the future, securing those leases, and still looking for some entertainment concepts in the Burnwood space. The gym, it's about 6,500 square feet. That's adjacent to Sweet Shots. But being patient for the right entity, no more restaurants. Once Captain John's comes online, we feel like that's a comfortable number for us. So looking for entertainment concepts that keep people staying at River. And I was today earlier at 11 o'clock in the LNC committee meeting. We were fortunate enough to get the motion passed for the unit court to have the right to negotiate that building. So I'm assisting Secretary Harjo in the Commerce Department in that endeavor. Any questions?
Questions from the committee? Council attendance? Council online questions for OneFire? Your name, we'll start. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is announcements. Is there any announcements from the committee? We'll go.
All courts camps, first one starts next Tuesday at High School. Everybody's invited if you're in first grade or up to the fourth grade. Girls and boys. Starts at 8 o'clock in the morning.
15th?
The 12th. And if you miss that one, you have one the 20th at the Moody High School. And all of you, I put them in your boxes, they're online, you can register on site.
Thank you, Richard. Go. Any other announcements from committee? Any announcements from council in attendance? Council online? Or secretary?
Since we're doing announcements, I think it's appropriate to move on to commerce. So, members of the committee, you might notice that the marquee out by the highway is down, it's turned off. We've had some equipment issues with it and communication issues with it through the marketing department. We've got some quotes. We're gonna have that repaired and up and running, hopefully within about 3 or 4 weeks at the latest. We were looking at replacing the whole thing before Presto, but at the time, this doesn't work out, so we're just gonna get it replaced and it's working properly. You notice it, that's why it's out.
Thank you.
That update, Secretary Harjo.
We didn't notice that was you that did that. We did.
Capital line.
Speaker.
Planning session, May 12th, 6:30, and regular session, May 16th.
Thank you, Speaker. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Representative Huff made a motion to adjourn. Second by Representative Factor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I'd like to ask Representative Golden to please give the benediction.
Let's pray. Dear God, I just thank you for bringing us together today. And hopefully we talked about things and you are in our spirit, you're in our hearts and you're in our minds. Give us traveling graces. I ask these things in your name. So, do you want?